Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another Nervotics Q&A. We are the proud leaders in direct current education, sharing the experiences from athletes, coaches, doctors, and other professionals worldwide. In Matt Dell's absence, today's conversation is hosted by Jess. Jess with one S. Great to have you back. Good to see you. How have you been?
I'm doing great. I'm happy to be back. I'm just glad I'm back. I mean, do a good job, I guess.
You are back with a vengeance.
Yes.
And you're a better face to look at than Matt Dell. No offense to Matt Dell, but yeah, I think most would agree with that.
Well, I'm happy to be here, Jake. So why don't we get started? Who do we have to?
So it's a long time coming. We'll kind of get into it. I've met him a while back. This was when our company first started. So there's a lot of history back there. But here's a brief intro, a little bit about Nervotics, and then kind of pulls him in, and we will see him shortly.
Let's go.
At Nervotics, our mission is simple: to provide the tools that help people move better, heal faster, and perform at their best through advanced direct current technology. From professional athletes to clinical providers, Nervotics delivers systems that target the source of pain, not just the symptoms. Inside our training portal, you'll find setup guides, pad placements, and performance protocols trusted by top clinicians and coaches. Because when it comes to DC education, we set the standard. And when you need help, our customer support and training team is always just a click away at nervotics.com. And make sure you check out our new DX500 with the same power, precision, and performance of our full-size systems in a device that fits in the palm of your hand. And now, introducing our guest for the day, he's a legend on the diamond and beyond. From sandlot games to college ball and now decades of senior baseball, and a lifelong competitor from farm fields to World Series to Hall of Fame, where experience, heart, and grit never retire. Please give a warm welcome for Bob Britz.
Pretty neat, Jake.
Very good job, Jake. He does it again.
He does.
Good to see you again, Bob. Thank you.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
It's great to have you with us.
Bob.
You got a lot of awards back there. I love seeing that.
Yeah, my wife kind of helped me put a few things together down in my office, and obviously baseball is one of them, and cross country skiing is the other one. But there's a few other things, but it's just fun. I just like to stay active as possible.
And before we really get into it, and Jess is going to ask all the good questions, but I've seen that picture where you're raising your arms over your head and you have snow and ice all over your face.
Yes.
What's the story behind that? Like, how far did you go? Obviously, it was cross country. Was that a specific event that you did in Minnesota?
Yeah, it's a specific event called the American Birkebeiner, and it's been going for 52 years now. I missed the first 5 because I didn't know about it, and somebody introduced me to it, and I said, "Oh, something other than running in the winter on icy roads," and so that's how it got started. And it's a cross-country ski race that goes from Cable, Wisconsin to Hayward, and it's 35 miles. And this will, if I can do it, this will be my 48th year coming up.
Wow.
Amazing. That's great. Well, I can tell you they don't have that out here in Florida. Jake and I are both in Florida, and
yeah.
I just got back from Florida. Where are you in Florida?
I'm in Apollo Beach, so about 30 to 40 minutes from Tampa, depending on the traffic.
And I'm on the opposite side of Tampa. I'm about 40 minutes on the other side, a town called Mulberry, which is just south of Lakeland.
Okay. I was just in Fort Myers for 2.5 weeks. Roy Hobbs World Series. So that was a fun again.
Yeah, I was going to ask on that. I know you and I spoke a little bit, and you said you were going to be out in Florida. Congratulations, by the way, on winning the World Series.
Thank you.
Again.
Yeah.
Yes.
Does it get boring, Bob? Does it get boring to just be as good as you are?
It does not get boring winning, and it takes a good team. And this is number 19 or 20, so it's just kind of. We had some new people on the team this year, and they said, "Boy, doesn't it get boring winning?" I said, I heard somebody talk in the dugout, we hope we do well. I said, guys we've done it enough. When we come here, we expect to win. We don't hope we're going to do well.
Yeah.
We expect to win it. And, sometimes you don't, but it's been 19 or 20 times I lose track, but it's been fun.
I wish I could say the same thing. I love that. Well, congratulations again on that. That's pretty awesome. You guys were playing in Arizona for that, right?
I played 2 weeks in Arizona and then took 5 days off. Then we traveled to Florida and played a little over 2 weeks in Florida. So we had about 30 games in 29 days.
Wow. That's incredible. So I guess we can ask a little more on that. How did you get to where you are in the baseball world?
Grew up on a farm with 8 brothers and sisters. And so when Dad, if he wasn't farming, he had to work out, at a railroad plant. He carried railroad ties as a second job. And as soon as he left, we got the baseball out and the bat out, and I wanted to make sure that I got my swings in. So I was the first one to hit. And then if they wanted to quit, it was okay.
So you always got your practice in, and that explains why you have such a good swing still.
Well, it still works, and it's hopefully it'll work for a number of years yet. I don't plan on giving up unless you absolutely have to.
100%.
Love it. So it sounds like you grew up on a farm. Can you tell us a little bit more about your story?
Yeah, we grew up on a dairy farm, so that meant getting up at 5 a.m. When my older brother and I first, obviously, Dad would start milking, he would head to work, and in the early days we milked by hand, and we only had about 20 cows, so we had to do everything by hand, and then eventually became automated, and everybody got involved. But it was, we'd milk, we'd put it in a cooler, then we'd put it in the pickup, take it to town, unload it, come home, Mom would have breakfast, we'd go to work, we'd go to school, we'd get there about 7:15, and we called them the town kids, and they go, "Oh, can't they start school any later? This is so early." And we said, "Well, maybe not."
Yeah,
Well, you were already up way before them. So
lunchtime for you.
Yeah.
Well, so it's just kind of got in the habit of getting up early, and now that I'm retired, I might sleep in till 6 or 6:30, which is a sleep in, but that's okay.
By the way, I'm sure he means AM.
Yeah, he's not talking PM, Jess.
Yeah,
No,
I know.
no.
Hey, I'm an early riser too. So
Yes, you are. She's a runner.
I'm up at 5 a.m. and I go for my runs early before Jake even wakes up.
Probably.
But I mean, I'm a late starter if I'm talking versus you.
No, it sounds like you get up early too, and it's a kind of a habit that I've kept over 70 years, 75 years, and it's just good to get up and get moving a little bit, and I enjoy it, so I will continue to do it as long as I can do it.
Milking cows, I've never done that before. And you mentioned 20. You said you only had 20. That sounds like a lot of cows to milk.
No, it sounds like a lot. I was gonna.
Could you kind of go through, like, what is that like? Was there any benefit to that in baseball of doing something like that?
It definitely, in the early years when you milk by hand, grip strength was a big thing, because you have to, they've got 4 teats, as we call them, and you squeeze out about 40 gallons, 45 gallons of milk per cow.
Wow.
And you put it in a strainer, and then you carry 100-pound can of milk. Once it's full, you put it in cold water to keep it fresh. But yeah, you built up some real good grip strength and forearm strength, and those kind of things. And it's something that you had to be disciplined at, but it gave you a routine and a work ethic that, obviously we call them town kids, that they did not have, because they didn't have to. But there was not a choice on when you grow up on a dairy farm. It's and if you're late, Dad gave us a good example with that. We didn't get there on time. Well, the cows are so used to a routine, they start dropping their milk at a certain time, and if you're not there, it runs in the gutter. And he says that is money in the gutter.
Literally.
So he says you have to be on time. There is no such thing as late. And as far as a vacation, he said cows don't take vacations. 7 days a week, twice a day, on time.
That's
So
amazing.
that kind of got us started on the track of being disciplined and having a routine and keeping it.
Yeah.
Definitely a lot of grit with that.
So anyway, it was a good life. I would like to have stayed on the farm, but I was the second oldest out of 8, and he said, you need to go get a job or go do something because there's a whole bunch after you and one of them will take it.
Yeah, gotcha.
So when did you start playing baseball professionally or competitively?
Probably about 5 years old. We had what we called a little league program, and we lived 2 miles from the nearest ballpark, and we had one car and one bicycle, and my older brother and I would kind of leapfrog from our farm if we had practice at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock. I would run the first half mile, he would bike, then he'd put the bike in the ditch, and then I would take it, and eventually we both ended up at the ballpark.
I love that. That's incredible.
And then once Dad was done with chores, he'd come and pick us up, but that's how we got to town.
Were there other sports for you, or is baseball was just kind of where you took to it? It sounds like it's just something that was easy to gravitate to in between your chores of being on the farm and going to school.
It actually was very good. I went to a parochial school, and I was very fortunate. Athletics, I just kind of liked everything. And my closest friend lived about 2 miles away from me, 1.5 miles across country. So I would run over there and then run back home. So when I got to high school, I did cross country and football in the fall. And after the cross country meet, the assistant football coach would have I'd go through the chute, get my number, get my time, and he'd have the car door open. He gave me a ride to school, and the football field was about a 1/4 mile from school. He says, you got a half an hour and the game starts, so make sure you're there. So went from cross country to football, played basketball in the winter, and then ran track and played baseball in the spring. So I was able to play 5 different sports. And my dad said, are you ever going to be home to help with chores? I said, whenever I can.
So this explains a lot now. I'm learning more and more. So you were a 5-sport athlete, which is unheard of these days.
Mhm.
And not only that, you're on a dairy farm, which I don't know much about farming, but I know dairy is one of the hardest that I've learned. It certainly takes the most time. And you're still going to school. It explains a lot why you're still as active as you are today.
I think so. It just kind of, it was natural for me to obviously try all of these things. And my best friend and I got involved in football in 9th grade. My best friend and I were sitting in algebra class, and the algebra teacher was the football coach. And he said, we're going to play a game this afternoon at 1 o'clock, and I need you 2 guys to come and play football. And I said, at 1 o'clock? I said, I got to be home at 3:30 for chores. And he goes, I will make sure you're there. And I said, well, I don't know if you understand, but Dad he was very insistent that I be home because, he worked all day. And then he says, you're going to come home, make sure you're home for chores. And the coach goes, yeah, I'll be there. I said, well, okay. But I said, he's 5'10", about 230 pounds, and there's not an ounce of fat on him. His ring finger was 18 and a half. And so he's a big guy, and he doesn't say much, but you better do what you were told to do. And he says, oh, we'll get there. And so he got me home a little after 3:30, and Dad was standing there. I just got out of the car, went in the house, got dressed, and the next morning the coach goes, man, that guy's got big hands.
Oh, that's an amazing story.
So and then he eventually let me play because I was fairly successful at it, and it was fun. So yeah, it was a good upbringing. It was a very good training for getting out, getting a job, working, making things happen. And, if one job's not enough, he said, go get another one
Yeah,
till you can pay your bills.
that's very true, especially nowadays. I feel like everyone is living that right now.
Yeah.
Well, Bob, I think it's important now to ask. So how did you come across direct current?
I was a good friend of mine is Dan Bauman, who Jake knows.
Yeah.
We were in BNI together, Business Networking International, and we were talking one day about I had a slight injury from I think it was golf at that time, and he goes, "Well, I've got a machine called the ARP Neuro at that time. Now it's changed." And I said, "Oh, I've got a TENS unit," but I said it really doesn't do much. I said it was kind of a waste of money for me. And he said, "No, this is different. This is direct current." And so he explained to me what direct current was, and that's when I said, if you've got one, I said, let me try it for a couple of weeks. Show me how to use it. And I said, I'll let you know if it works. And if it works, I said, then I'll be interested. And so we went through it, and it worked out. I could notice the difference right away, putting it on stimulation and for maybe 25, 30 minutes, and then putting it on blood flow, and found out later that blood flow versus ice is one of the keys. And that just kind of led into one thing after another. And I was able to use it probably 7 out of 8 days because in the spring it's baseball and running and biking and playing golf. And then in the wintertime it's cross country skiing. So I was able to use it, just about year round. And that was what attracted me to it in the first place. And then Dan said Jake was coming to town. I heard a little bit about Jake, and then also about Jeff Emery. And so, I met those guys, and it just kind of evolved into, using it pretty much all the time. And I wore out a couple of batteries, and so I think they need to improve those batteries if a guy's going to use it so much. But anyway.
We're working on that.
But it really came into play a year and a half ago. I was skiing in the Berkey, and I was knocked down and tore my rotator cuff, my bicep tendon, broke a couple of ribs. And when I saw the doctor, he said, "This is a 2-year recovery." And I said, 2 years? That's a long time to be inactive.
Yeah.
And so I talked to Jake, I talked to Jeff. I said, how can we speed this up? A day after surgery, I had it on blood flow, probably 14 to 16 hours a day. Whenever the battery would run out, then I'd charge it again, and then I'd put it on at night. And the doctor would check every month, how you doing? And but after the second month, he said, well, as soon as you're able to do this exercise, then we'll move on to the next one. And I said, oh, you mean this one? And he goes, you shouldn't be doing that yet at 75 years old. And I said, well, I've got this machine. And he took a look at it, and he went, that is pretty amazing. So, it wasn't me. It was just, I had access to a machine, but I used it very, very, I used it a lot, put it that way.
And I'm going to disagree with you. A lot of the success of this technology does depend on the dedication of using it. I think some people just think they can put the pads on once and it's done. You were super dedicated with the therapies that we were giving you. So a lot of that success came from your work ethic along with the direct current technology. Well,
it was, like I said, I probably called you guys too much, but it was just like, okay, I'm doing this. Okay, now what do I do? And once the arm started to heal and I was able to get the pillow off of me, we started working on some strength training. But the biggest thing was for probably 4 months, 7 days a week, it was used for probably close to 16, 18 hours a day.
Wow.
It was just constantly in use.
That's awesome.
And then at that point, like, if I remember correctly, you were playing baseball that following season. Is that true?
I was. The doc, when I talked to him, he said, well, we'll start you in a throwing motion at about 3 months. Well, I had the surgery basically April 1st, it's the 30th of March. And by 2 months into it, it felt fine. So I went through my throwing motion, and my therapist would not allow me to. She was excellent, by the way. And there were certain drills that I wanted to do. And she said, we're not doing those until you can do this. And, she walked me through, everything had to be perfect as far as form before she would let me go to the next level. So I have to give her a lot of credit. But after 2 months, I was going through my throwing motion. And when I went to see the doctor, he goes, well, you're about 2 to 3 weeks ahead of schedule at 2 months. He says, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. And so anyway, long story short, by October, I was playing baseball in Arizona. I would say it was about 75%. And so I was able to play third and play first, because from third to first is 127 feet, 3 3/8 inches, so 130 feet. And so I was able to make that throw. So I was playing in October, and I had to be careful that I didn't want to hurt it again, because that was the longest recovery of all injuries I've had is rotator cuff.
And Jess, in that story, I knew he was going to get better. He was so determined to prove the doctor wrong. And when he said he was going to be playing baseball that year, I knew we were in for it. So it was good to see him bounce back as quickly as he did. And again, going back to the work ethic in combination with this technology, that's where a lot of that happened.
Now, it was the technology. And again, this year, the goal was to get back and throw 100% by this year, and that pretty much happened. We had 30 games, and you have between about 100 and 150 throws per game between warm-ups and infield practice and all the other things. So, 150 times 30 games, and it did not give me 1 ounce of trouble at all.
Amazing. That's incredible to hear.
So during the games, like even pre or post game, was there something you were using the technology with, where you mentioned blood flow versus ice? Did you use this in replacement of ice?
I haven't used ice since I read that article.
Yeah.
The guy that invented RICE, RICE, I read that article, and he said, I think I made a mistake. It should be blood flow. It should not be ice.
Yeah.
So I really have not used ice in the last 2 to 3 years, but I do put it on before the game. I'll put the Nervox on now. Is that how you pronounce it now, the new company?
Nervox.
Okay, I put that on to kind of get the muscle warmed up. And when I get to practice, I'm basically 25, 30 throws into it before I even pick up a baseball, and warming up was no problem whatsoever.
Wow, that's awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think that was going to be one of my next questions. Like, what are some of your favorite protocols with the device? So it sounds like you're using blood flow. Is there any other way that you like to use the machine pre or post?
I'll use that pre-game, and then I've got my 20, 25-minute routine. Most guys have their own, and I've got mine. And once the game is over, I will go back to my, we had a condo, so I'd go back to the condo. I'd put it on for stimulation for about 25, 30 minutes. In certain areas, my arm was one. I pulled a quad and pulled a groin muscle a little bit, so I would take care of that. And then at night, I would wrap it up, and that was one of my sleeping partners.
So I don't know about you, Jess. I'm actually impressed with that, because I've probably had all these devices on me several thousand times. Mm-hmm. I've slept with it maybe 10 times. The fact that you can do that and be able to sleep with this is impressive.
Well, I figured out how to put it on, and so I could roll over and they don't come off. But the pads you guys came up with, the bigger ones, the 2x4, I believe.
Yeah.
They are outstanding. I have to order some more, because I used them every day for 10, 12 hours a day, and the stickum is kind of gone.
Yeah, I love that. I actually do sleep with mine here and there, especially as a runner. I do the blood flow on my knee. My knee likes to cry for help sometimes, especially on my long runs. So I agree. It's definitely one of my sleeping partners too, because I do have to wrap it around. It's not that easy to do. You know, you start to get tangled up, but if you do it the right way, it's amazing. You wake up feeling brand new.
Wait a minute. Are you saying I'm doing this the wrong way? I'm training this. You know how bad that makes me look, Jess? It's ridiculous. I'm going to get fired after this podcast.
There are a lot of things that you do wrong. Not that happens.
Bob, you can't argue with that, Bob.
There you go.
Amazing. And this is, hey, we literally have someone that you have been working for how long? You guys have been working together for over 6 years. Is that correct? Is that what I'm hearing?
I kind of work for Bob. I just ask him. I ask him what he needs because he pretty much has a pretty good idea of where he's going, and so we just like to facilitate. You know, you don't have to give Bob a lot of direction.
I love what Bob said, and I want to repeat it. Is Jake is coming to town. Like I feel like when anyone hears that, you just get excited. It's like Christmas morning.
Jake you're making up for it.
Yeah. There should be a Christmas song about you.
And I want to make sure I give Jeff tons of credit too, because I'm sure as soon as his phone rings and he sees my number, he goes, "Oh, not him again."
No, he's always said good things about you.
Yeah.
But they're both been very, very supportive, and anything new that comes out, especially when those pads came out, I said, "Boy, those other ones, I can't seem to keep them on me." And then they said, "Well, there's a new one coming out." I said, "Send it out. I will try it. I'll tell you if it stays on."
Yeah. Yeah. So are you referring to, have you tried the performance pads? Is that the one he referred you to?
Is that the 2" by 4" are very flexible?
The very flexible ones. Yeah. I think they're 3 by 4 now. They're a little bit larger. Yeah. They're a little bit larger. They cover more territory. They were designed for shoulders, which is one of the reasons I think you benefit from it better because it bends as you're moving.
It bends. And the other thing is I put compression shirt on, compression shorts, and then I have a big white band that's about 12 inches. I wrap that around my waist, and then I put the unit right in front. Mm-hmm. No problem at all. Everything is connected, stays connected all night long.
Boy, that's awesome. I'm glad you're using the performance pads because they're my favorites. They
are. And like I say, I'm out of them, so I've got to order some and make sure I get back up to speed. I gave myself a week off here to do pretty much nothing and let my body recover, but I'm ready to go.
Is that hard for you? A guy who wakes up at 4 a.m, he milks 20 cows, goes to school, plays football, then he runs cross country. I mean, this was your life. How do you take it easy?
I'm in a routine now that when I get up, it's always the stretching first. And that's pretty much all I did this week is just kind of stretch and, get things back to normal. And then I had a call 2 days ago and they said, "We're putting our team together for next year. You want to be part of that?" And I said, "Well, if we're revamping it, I will. So yeah, let's do it." So we did that last night.
Beautiful.
Love it. So yeah, I think as an active person, it's really hard to not be active.
Speaking of activity, he's already got his teammates reaching out to him because
I know
this is his moment of taking it easy and he can't even do it on a podcast.
Yeah. I mean, I think you and I understand that we're always getting pinged somehow and being pulled in different directions. So we totally get it. Go take your call, Bob. It's okay. I'm surprised Jake isn't getting blown up as much. I guess you go on, maybe put your phone and hide it under your pillow, under the bed.
I do. I have to shut it off. Yeah. And I always joke because I have 2 phones. One of them at some point when the time is ready for me to retire, I'm going to kayak all the way out in the middle of the Atlantic and I'm going to throw it and watch it sink to the bottom of the ocean. That's how much I love cell phones.
Retirement and Jake in the same sentence, ever possible. You're just too good at what you do. So please don't retire. We need you.
Not yet. No way. Yeah. Bob, did we lose you? Oh, I think we actually lost him.
Oh no.
So we'll see if he hops back on.
We'll wait for a little bit.
Yeah. And in the meantime, I'm going to ask you questions, Jess.
In the meantime, I feel like I need to put on my glasses because you're so cool and stylish. And now I keep looking at you. I think I need to pull on my glasses.
I don't hear cool a lot these days. So you're definitely rising up on that Christmas list. So
Oh,
yeah, keep that up. That's good
oh,
for your Christmas.
you have to not be a liar to be on a good. I'm pretty sure that was a lie.
So you mentioned running, as we wait for Bob to come back. You sleep with it. What are some of your favorite protocols to help you with running?
Jake, oops, I'm sorry.
Hold that thought, Jess. We got him back. All right.
Somehow everybody disappeared.
So
It's
here's the
alright.
thing. We ask a question, how you taking it easy? And all of a sudden your phone blows up. You have to leave for a minute to come back to the podcast. This is you taking it easy.
Kind of.
There's cardio right there. I'm sure your heart spiked for a second. You see? Look at that.
So as far as taking it easy, yeah, it's, I just do a lot of reading now, and this last week I read a couple of books, and so it was, it's been good, and I've been deer hunting, and that's relaxing. So the trails are now opening up, so I'll be getting into cross country skiing probably Friday.
Nice.
That is incredible. I can't
Such a
believe
great
that.
activity,
Yeah,
cross country skiing.
that is. I would not do that, but that's amazing for you.
Oh, you would. It's a good variety, and variety keeps everything fresh.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we can't do it in Florida, but I have to say, it's so good on your joints. It gives you, like, your VO2 must be amazing. Your heart fitness levels probably are off the charts because doing cross country skiing coupled with all the other things you're doing, such a great activity.
It's a good activity, and I have a challenge for you. People that live in warmer climates with sand, all you got to do is invent some wax of some kind where you can ski on the beach, and you would be in like Flynn.
Interesting. All right, Jess, let's go.
Yeah,
This is.
I'm originally from New Jersey, and I absolutely do not like the cold. Hence why I moved out here. So yeah, I think Jake and I have to work on this.
Sand skiing.
Sand skiing.
Yeah, there we go. We got to think of something.
Well, it sounds better. Sand ski.
Sand ski.
Yeah, let's keep the
So
onion.
you made it Polish, but that's cool. I got some Polish.
I didn't even think about it. See, Jake, you're too clever. You're just good at this. What can I say? See, now you're naming our future here. Sand ski.
Well,
There you go.
we'll have to get Bob. We'll have to get Bob to sign off on that if we do it, because he's the one who came up on that idea.
This is true, and oh man, it's gonna be a public record now and everything. When see, we should have done this quietly. Next time, we'll just write notes and like send it off with a bird or something, so we can get rid of. It's all right, Bob. We will keep you in the loop, okay?
All right, you keep me in the loop.
And then you can be our protege and you can go sand skiing for us.
Okay.
I'm not handling that side. So, Bob, I don't want to hold you off too much, but I do have an important question here, being that you have had an amazing life and you have done amazing things. So what piece of advice do you have for younger athletes to get to this level where you have gotten to?
It might also, and I sent Jake a story. Blue Cross Blue Shield did a little article on me, and they kind of asked me the same thing. And I said, people nowadays, iPads and the games, and they sit in the house and they don't get outside. It's been proven that activity obviously keeps you fresh, keeps your mind alert, but also keeps you as healthy as possible. And, nobody's going to live forever and could fall over tomorrow, but quality over quantity. And if quantity happens to come with quality, I'll take it. But you just feel better when you're moving. If you don't use it, you lose it. And it doesn't have to be running, skiing, biking. Find something that you like to do. If it's disc golf, if it's bocce ball, whatever it is, get up, enjoy it, make that a part of your daily routine. And then the other part of it is socializing. As I get older, I live in a retired community, but they don't see me much here. Get up and meet your neighbors and have a cup of coffee, go out for lunch. And I like to pick 5 of the most positive people that I know, and those are the people that I hang around with. I'm not interested in somebody that's always has a complaint. They always have a soreness. They always have something going on. We all have those, but you try to overcome them and stay as positive as you can. And those are the people I like to hang around with.
Love that.
Perfection. Yeah. What a great answer. The 5 people, I've heard that before. You're living it for sure. And it's not surprising to me that they don't see you there very often because you're too busy moving. And we say that even here, motion is lotion, movement is medicine.
Right.
Yeah.
It's truly a part of it's in our makeup. I think we're designed to go. We always compare ourselves to like animals and how fast they are and their athleticism. But when it comes to endurance, we're one of the better ones. We're designed to move for long periods of time, and you've certainly proven that.
It's just accidental or whatever it is. It's so to this point it's worked out well, and I hope to continue it for a number of years yet.
So I want to go back to the farm because I'm intrigued by it. Does it still exist in your family? Is it still part of your life, or is that it's still a memory, but it's sort of behind you?
No, it's still in the farm, still in the family. And actually 2 years ago, we celebrated 100-year anniversary of our farm. And
wow.
We had all the relatives coming back from, they're all over the country now, and had almost 200 people came back to the farm, and it's changed a little bit. We had a dairy farm, and it got tougher and tougher to make a living at the dairy farm. So my youngest brother took over the farm and turned it into a turkey farm. And he's got about 60 to 70,000 turkeys at one time in 3 different barns. And we turned the hay barn into, we call it the Hilltop Bar and Saloon. It's really not a hill bar and saloon, but the whole upstairs of the hay barn was redone. And we've got parties up there. We held our 50th class reunion up there, and people could not believe what this looked like. And that's where we held this 100-year reunion. And my youngest brother, took over the farm and has just done a fabulous job with that. And he's got something every week, except when it gets cold in the winter, he calls Thirsty Thursdays. Come on over.
That's that an invite for us too?
If you're ever here, I'll take you up there. It's quite a deal.
Thursday.
It's very nice. It's a good way to meet people, get together for a couple hours, and then be on your way, because farmers work hard.
So Bob, if Jess makes her way up to Minnesota,
yes,
would you teach her how to milk a cow?
I would.
She's from Jersey. There's no way. I'm from Chicago. I've never milked a cow.
I actually have milked a cow.
Oh, have you? Okay. Well, then, if I'm up there one day, you're going to have to show me how to do it.
I can do that.
Fair enough.
Yes, I have done that. So see, Jake.
That's impressive for a Jersey girl. I never would have guessed that. Shame on me.
No, I actually did not do that in Jersey. So fun fact, I was born in Uruguay.
Oh,
South America. And there's lots of cows out there. We eat a lot of meat. Jake, you would love it.
Yeah, I'm a steak guy.
So once I think I was like 5 when we came over to the US, but we went to a field trip to one of the farms, and they were teaching us how to milk a cow. I was under 5, but I still remember that. I don't remember if I'll do it right if I see an udder now, but I know I did it for sure.
It wouldn't take long to reintroduce that to you.
Yeah, I'm sure.
From that activity, do you still feel the benefits of where your grip strength is, or are you using the device to help that out?
Both. There's a routine I've got. I put a bar up in one of my downstairs rooms, and every time I walk by it, I tell people, "Yeah, I hung myself 3 times today." So I'll get up there and hang on as long as I can, and then if something for like golf or whatever it is, Jake has showed me a number of hookups that I can use, play pad placement, and both of those, you just kind of, I don't know, whatever you happen to fall into that day, you just, unless you've got an injury, you do it more often. But other than that, it's just, you can use it for people that don't know or haven't heard. Go online, take a look at it. you can use it for just about anything. And if there's a couple of people that have bought them that I've used them, and one lady turned it back, and I said, well, when you use it during the day, I said, how often do you use it? Well, I think I've used it a couple of times. And I said, you know what? It does no good in the box.
True.
It will not help you in the box. You've got to pull it out. You got to turn it on.
We need to crop what you just said, and we got to share it with everybody. It does take some action, and you've certainly proven that. Not a lot. It's not hard. Like you said, I think it's a pretty easy device to use, but you have to have it on your body for it to work.
No,
you do. And if it's there's one person that says, well, I don't know if I'd use it. I said, then save your money. I said, if you're not going to use it, don't buy it and then tell people it didn't work, because that would not be the right answer, because you didn't give it a chance, first of all.
Absolutely. Look at this guy.
Bob's my favorite.
Yeah, I agree. I think what you just said was amazing. Two things that you said. One, it's no good in the box. And then, if you're not going to use it, then you're not giving it a fair chance, right? So absolutely, I think I could not agree more with that. And then Jake, obviously, how do you feel with what he just said, being our trainer here in this company?
Well, you're a walking billboard of where we wanted to take this 8 years ago, is getting it into someone's hands that isn't afraid to go outside the bar and, kind of push the envelope, not to be afraid to ask questions, and then realize the simplicity of it versus the benefits. Sometimes you're going to get some benefits from something, but then it's really convoluted, or it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort. And it's really difficult to do. It's the initial investment that it takes, and then investing in your time. I've seen Bob over the years, you're dedicated in everything you do, obviously. But you certainly have not been, you haven't changed your personality with this device. And that's where a lot of that goes. So yeah, we're thrilled if we can have more Bobs using this. This is going to be a better world, because that's how we get it out there everywhere.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, it's so portable. I've got the personal, the home unit. I hear there's another one in between there that I'm interested in looking at. And basically people that I talk to, they go, well, how do you carry that thing around? And so then I pull it out of my bat bag, and I said, well, you can hold it in your hand. So it's not too hard. I mean, if you can take it no matter where you go, it's so portable. And if it's portable, it's usable. And if it's usable, it works.
There you go. Another
slogan.
All of these, I have a list of things that I'm going to send over.
That's where it's going. I think handheld is the future. And, these devices, they've been big, and some of them are still big, but I do think they're getting smaller and more options in the palm of your hand. So, we're glad to hear that.
I agree. And I thank you guys for coming up with direct current, and something that's portable and something that works, and getting it into I know it was into professional hands for many years, but the market is the baby boomers. They do not want to get old. They do not want to stop moving, and they do have some injuries and some aches and pains. And if they can find a way to minimize that and keep it going, that's the market that is going to make this thing move.
Yeah.
That's an exclamation point on top.
That's right.
Jess, do you have any other questions, or you want to just drive the nail into my career and give me one more insult as a bad trainer?
You know what? I'll be nice today.
Oh, come on. What fun is that?
For you, Bob. I don't have any more questions. I had a great conversation with you. I learned so much. I love how active you are. You are an inspiration to a lot of people. One of the things I want to point out is, Jake, I don't know if you remember, I love this saying is, I give 100% to everything that I do except giving blood. And I feel like you are living proof of that. So thank you for sharing your story today with us. I had an amazing time learning about you and just hearing your cow stories. Jake loved that part. I'm sorry. I just got to.
I'm intrigued with the work ethic of dairy farmers.
Bring Jake to a cow farm and
I love it. I think I'd be right at home. I really do. I love the grit, the grind of it, and it shows in the way you live your life. So your dad must have been tough on you, but that I can see the calluses within the way you live to prove that. But definitely in a good way.
Well, he was he was firm, he was fair, he was an old German, and there's not a lot of, if we're supposed to do it, let's do it. Let's not talk about it. And the other thing is, if you do want to see a nice dairy farm, January 30th, I'll have almost all my brothers and my sister up at the farm. We are going to be making about 450 pounds of venison sausage.
Oh, see, now you're speaking my language, Bob. Come on. January 30th. Let's put that down. Could that be a Nervotics trip, Jess? What do you think? Can we write that off?
If you know you're coming up, I can get a number of people so you can write it off.
That's beautiful. We're running that down.
Wait. Jake is coming to town. I love it.
The cops will be waiting, right? They've been looking for me in Minnesota for years.
You could not advertise Jake coming to town anymore.
Bob, it's been a real pleasure. It's great to see you again. You haven't aged a bit. I mean, 7 years ago, you might look younger now, and that's not me filling you up. I just think it's your activity. It hasn't stopped, and I haven't seen a single wrinkle increase from the 7 years I met you the first time.
Well, I appreciate that, and it's good genetics, probably number one, and my next birthday will be 76, but I don't feel 76.
No, you don't look it either.
Yeah.
So appreciate the podcast, and hopefully somebody somewhere can get something out of it, and we're good to go.
Thanks for your time again, Bob.
You're welcome. Thank you, guys.
And we'll talk soon. If you can stay around, we're going to close out. If you can stay around, great. If you have to get going, we understand. We know you're busy, and you have a lot of activities going on. So
no, I can hang on if you want me to.
Perfect. Right. We'll see you in a few minutes, Bob.
All right.
Yes. Perfect timing. Great one. Thanks for filling in for Matt. He's going to have a hard time unless he starts wearing makeup and doing his hair like you. And I just don't think he has those options.
Okay. One, I don't wear makeup.
Oh, okay. See, what a compliment though, right? See, I'm complimenting.
Thanks. I probably do need to do something with myself, but yeah, my hair is still, I don't know. When I hopped on, it was a lot heavier because I just washed it like 2 hours ago. Did it grow? Nope. It's still wet.
It looks about the same. I got to say, I like the backdrop. Matt and I can take some notes from how you set that up. I really like it. It pops. I can see that.
I still have Pikachu back here. I don't know if you remember from the last time. He got smaller. I used a smaller one this time, but he's still powering it up back here for me.
Yeah, Pikachu's way too young for me. I don't even know who that is.
Crazy for you to say.
I want to say bless you. When you say
older than you, but we'll go with that.
You look older than me? I doubt that.
Pikachu is older than you. Yeah, absolutely.
Is he? No, he's not.
He's been around for years and years.
Oh, man. It's fun to have you on. I think next time it should be you and Matt, and I could be behind the scenes, and then we can do a comparison between the two of you. I think it'd be fun.
We should do that.
That's awesome. You have anything else you want to bring up?
No, not really. No.
All right. Well, then I guess I'll wrap it up unless you want to.
No, you do it better.
Oh, I don't know. Just don't want to do it. I guess I'll do all the work today since Matt.
Yeah.
All right. Jess, thank you so much. You filled in at a short notice, and that means a lot. And you're always there, Johnny, on the spot. So today wraps up our Q&A, and we want to thank everybody out there for joining in and being a part of this. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to us at nervotics.com. That's NERVEOTX.com, nervotics.com. Thanks for joining in, everybody.
All righty.